So the quick gist is that you should go see this movie. It's so yummy. It's like cake, except the good kind. It doesn't crumble too much. It's just moist enough to tickle your taste buds and be a fun adventure in your tummy. And that's kind of what Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was for us. What is going on, guys and girls? It is Ghost Robo, and today we saw a movie. So I am joined by Noah the Bean here for... Ooh, we didn't see E.T. Instead, we saw Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Noah is a monkey himself, and this one was freaking awesome.
Yes, it was.
I think straight off the bat, it was so good. We are going to give you a spoiler-free recap and review with our score, followed by a little spoiler section at the end. So don't worry, you don't have to hide your ears, cover your eyes, or any of that stuff. We will keep it nice and friendly for you all. But basically, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, sequel to the Planet of the Apes reboot of this franchise. A whole new cast of human characters. The monkeys have basically formed their own society high up in the forest. They're surviving and existing on their own with Caesar, the main character from the first movie, as their leader. Now, the humans have been struggling massively. The virus has wiped out pretty much everybody. It almost felt like The Last of Us in a lot of different scenes. And they encounter the apes, and from there, everything just gets crazy. The humans are trying to survive. The apes don't want intervention. There's some tension on both sides. People think they should attack, shouldn't attack. What should they do? And we have the best CG that we've possibly ever seen.
I definitely agree. The apes were just terrifically made. Them interacting with the humans was great. I know you were talking about that earlier.
There's one little bit where this little monkey pulls on one of the humans, the tongue of their shoe, and I was like,
that was very good.
We've come so far from when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan were talking to Jar Jar Binks, and that looks so awkward. Like, now, it's impressive to see these monkeys all done up by themselves, but when they're actually interacting with humans as if it was a real scenario, that's when I feel it is so impressive. And like, this was just a visual feast.
I agree.
And it wasn't just a visual menagerie of excitement. There was a lot of good story there. I was really impressed that they were able to take what at first seems like a goofy premise. We were worried that this movie would be pretty terrible. You know, a new cast, it's a sequel, it's going in an action direction, summer blockbuster. Is it going to deliver? And I thought it did a really nice job of having very defined and very escalating story acts, chapters, segments, and you kind of went on quite a journey from beginning to end, which I always love in a movie.
It picked its moments right as well.
Yes.
When things started getting exciting or big moments, it picked the right time to do that.
They escalate conflict well, and a nice ebb and flow of like, hey, we're having some calm moments where the humans are trying to figure out how they're going to survive. Gary Oldman is in this. Commissioner Gordon, he's trying to build the next Gotham City, or at least keep his people alive. I thought his role was actually
very minute
and almost insignificant. But
if you didn't have him, it still would have been.
Maybe he was just there for show. But anyways, you had moments where like they're trying to talk and figure it out. Then you have sort of tense moments where the monkeys and the apes and the humans are they apes? Monkeys, apes?
Yeah.
They're all the same. I always get confused. Like, there's orangutans, there's gorillas, there's monkeys, there's apes. If we're wrong, I'm sorry. But basically, the most tense moments to me were when the monkeys, the apes, and the humans met up, and you're like, is someone going to get ripped to shreds? Are they going to be able to interact? And they did a nice job of, like, the monkeys didn't always talk. Some of them can speak, like we know from the first movie, but some of them just communicate via sign language, and they integrated that really well, because we've seen plenty of like nature films like Planet Earth or Chimpanzee where you're seeing these monkeys and it's like, oh, that's so cute, they're so awesome. Here, though, even though they were behaving, I thought in a lot of ways ape-like, you got a real human emotion out of them, and it told a story that you could very much understand. It wasn't like, oh, just these monkeys being, crazy in the forest.
Yeah, and even sign language is actually believable for monkeys. You know that? There's a gorilla named Coco.
Is it a gorilla?
Yeah, it's a gorilla.
Sure it's not an ape?
Yeah, it's a
Chimpanzee?
gorilla.
Okay.
It's a gorilla who knows 1,000-word sign language. 1,000-word sign language.
Yeah, so I thought the movie was really grounded. I liked that you could take these apes and they get guns like from the trailers, and it just turned into this like world chaos fest, but there were definite, very, very intense action scenes, but they also maintained a dramatic flair throughout the movie. Now, speaking of those action moments, what did you think when kind of all things fell apart and it just went into mass action? Does Dawn of the Planet of the Apes deliver good action scenes from your mind?
It does deliver good action scenes, because I think it even ups it even more that it's apes fighting. It makes it more cool, like what they do. Like, oh boy, they get guns now and they do this. Like,
I think you get a kick out of the fact that they like, oh my god, there's all these monkeys, and like that's so scary or that's so weird. It's not just like, oh, humans fighting humans. Like there's a little bit of just mystique or something there that keeps you intrigued, almost like a cartoon, but they never push it too far where you feel like, oh, this is a joke of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was absolutely epic. And there's small fight scenes between apes and humans and apes and massive fight scenes. And it kind of takes, I thought, some interesting turns and twists throughout. If you didn't know these moments, and we'll probably mention them in a couple minutes, but if you didn't know, if you had no spoilers, I think you'd be genuinely shocked going into this movie.
Yep, I did get a spoiler though. I read Kids in Mind just for fun because I knew where we were going. I don't know why. I just wanted to see it score.
You lost one of the biggest moments.
I did spoil the biggest moment in the movie.
Boy.
The biggest moment.
Poor boy. What was your favorite character, though?
What was your favorite character?
Who was your favorite moment? What was your favorite character?
Who was my favorite moment?
We're just flipping the who's and the what's here. My favorite character, I really like Malcolm, who's the main human. Forgive me for forgetting his name, but I thought he did a nice job of holding the role in a very sort of. He was quite stoic, but I like the fact that he wasn't overly emotional or overly crazy or overly dramatic. I thought that the humans had I thought they were well done. I know some people thought they weren't very well written or that they didn't have enough lines or whatever, but I thought they filled their roles and played their parts the best, or as best as they could. The stars of the show, though, are Koba and Caesar, the two main monkeys. They are just crazy.
They are definitely crazy. I'd probably say Koba is the most crazy character who does the most things in about 10 years in a movie.
Really?
Yes.
He's just like a...
No. He's done the most things.
Yeah.
Like the most notable things in one single movie that I've ever seen.
He was
probably
all over the place. Freaking Tasmanian Devil just tornadoing around the landscape. And what did you think about the areas? Like, it really reminded me of The Last of Us. And it was so... It was like really... I didn't expect it to be so post-apocalyptic. Like, there's a moment where they run into a gas station and it's literally covered in ivy and weeds and plant growth, and it's like, how long has this been going on? I was surprised that it wasn't just like, oh, the apes are taking over the cities. It was like the world has been totally transformed, and I thought that added to the intrigue because it made it seem more, almost more epic, like the monkeys have built up this huge area where they live, and they're very separate, and then the humans are kind of trying to struggle and you know, just sneak around their way through this deserted planet. It was pretty cool in that sense.
Yeah, it was. I think the landscape would just seem very nicely laid out to me. Like there was things just in the right spot. Nothing seemed out of place.
That's a good point.
It was all
they laid it out well. You knew, like, here's where the monkeys are, here's the humans are, here's where they meet up, here's where they... it had like almost a map to it.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. I thought it was really great that even though the focus is on these animals, the focus is on how well they're animated, the focus is on, oh, they're crazy and they fight, it was still a plot worth paying attention to. It didn't, like, go off the rails. It didn't devolve into just an action brawler. It was a good story, whether there was animals or not. It was a tense and, I thought, pretty impacting, emotional tale. You know, a lot about family, a lot about war and conflict, a lot about interacting,
solving your problems,
solving issues. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that would have worked with humans as well, and I think that was a victory for them, that they were able to achieve that with animals and not lose it, not lose control, and have it just fall apart into some loopy action movie. One thing I did not like about the movie, if we want to talk a little bit about gripes, is I had a hard time, and this may just be me, but I had a hard time identifying Caesar amongst the monkeys. Some of them have marks. Koba has a scar. Caesar's wife wears flowers on her head. His son has a big scar, which I was surprised that Caesar's son was such a big boy.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy. But I had a hard time sometimes, like, picking him out of the crowd, and I wish they would have done something. I know it's a little cheesy, but more of an identifying feature to let us know this is Caesar, this is the main hunky monkey.
I think he looked the most human-like, actually.
Yeah, they tried. Did you have anything that you didn't like about it?
Not really. For me, it was kind of easy to define Caesar because even if you couldn't define him, you could define every other monkey, so you knew who he was. But there's just one time where I didn't know who he was, when they were like twisting and turning.
Special
and
shout out to
then...
Maurice the orangutan, one of my favorite characters in the movie. He doesn't say much, he doesn't do much, but he's pretty...
He says one word in the whole movie besides sign language.
Yeah, he was very cool, so watch out for him. So no other negatives?
He's kind of like the teacher, like, wise man.
I do, though, think it's a little bit funny that we very briefly touched on the other human characters. Do you think that was the weakest parts of the movie, where there were no apes involved? It was just like humans, like, how are we going to get out of this mess? Like, to me, those were kind of the more, not boring, but they were the slower parts of the movie and didn't seem to have...
Well, yeah, it was just showing you, though, how the humans are trying to achieve one thing, the monkeys are trying to achieve another.
I just felt like they didn't have...
But they're interflicting with each other.
Maybe they didn't have the acting power, or maybe they didn't have the right scenes, but I just didn't feel like there was many meaningful moments. Like, Gary Oldman's character gives a speech at the beginning. I didn't feel like it was very moving or rousing of a speech, and just... Like, they were trying to do this work at the dam to restore power, but...
That happened some of the biggest moments.
With the apes, but when they were by themselves, I just felt like the movie was at its weakest when it was just the humans. Like, that side of the tale, that side of the whole production just seemed to be not like horrible, not bad, but just a little bit flat.
Yeah, I mean, if you had to pick the boringer parts of the movie, that would definitely be it. But yeah. Still, the movie's got lots of firepower.
Overall, I think we both really enjoyed this movie. If we're going to score it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
No, you go first. I want to see what you do.
I think I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow, that was my swear.
Really?
That was my movie.
It didn't amaze me like, oh my god, this is my favorite movie ever, like I was kind of hoping for.
I don't know if you heard, but that's what I told them when I was walking on the movie theater. 8 out of 10. You can ask
Really?
them.
But it did everything that I wanted it to do, and I thought it delivered a pretty... it captured my mind, and it captured my interest throughout. I thought it kept a nice pace to it. I thought the characters were cool. I thought there's definitely, I don't want to spoil it right now, but some very evil villains that you're like, I hate this, and I want to stop it. There's some big heroes. There's some moments of, disaster. There's moments of reclaiming, like...
But there wasn't much dead space. Like,
good and victory?
It wasn't, like, a ton of, like, boring stuff.
Yeah, no.
Like,
so I'm saying the pace was good.
on edge the whole time.
The monkeys and CG looked absolutely incredible. It was a really fun ride, and I'm glad that we took it.
Definitely.
Now, on to spoilers, guys and girls. If you want to leave us here, that's okay. Thanks for watching. Go enjoy the movie yourself. It's really good and definitely worth your money. So I think that starts with our favorite moment of the movie.
Yes, it does. So who's going to say it first?
You are this time.
Okay. Well, I got two favorite moments in the movie. This doesn't really lead into anything, but I like when Koba's holding his gun up high and riding through the fire on his horse.
Made him look like some video game villain.
I know, but...
Crazy. I could not believe how evil he got.
Yeah, but I kind of knew that was coming.
He's so detestable, though. You're ruining everything. You're destroying the ape-human relation. You shoot Caesar. What the heck is he thinking?
I know. I did like that part, though. That was very nicely done. He shot Caesar. He lit the ape community on fire, blaming it on the humans.
It's like those moments that they have in The Walking Dead, the Telltale game, where you're like, no, don't trust him, don't believe him, that's not how it happened. I hate injustice, and it drove me crazy. And then the battle sequence with the monkeys, and they're getting lit on fire, and gorilla throws a giant barrel. Like, that was so cool. My favorite moment, I think, of the movie...
I had another one.
Well, let me go and you'll go.
Fun.
Good. Take turns. Learn it in preschool. My favorite moment of the movie was when Malcolm is approaching the monkey camp, and you just see, like, how much of a different world it is. And he was really, like, introduced to, like, wow, they are very separate.
Yeah.
And even though... And just, like, how they've created their own kingdom, kind of, that doesn't have anything to do with humanity.
I liked all the scenes at the ape community.
Yeah, that was really cool looking.
Their entrance was, like, so big and cool. They made, like, an archway to their entrance. Yeah. They had so many different, like, little things in, like, a main gathering center in the middle.
Yeah, now, what was your other favorite moment?
My other favorite part is when Koba comes, and he's, like, trying to be this friendly monkey with these people testing out all the guns.
When he points the gun, it's like...
And he points the gun, and he picks up the gun and shoots the one guy, and he's like...
Made me sad, because then everything just... all hell broke loose, and it was just...
I also like the part when, like, the ape community is, like, just burning, and he's, like, Koba's talking to Caesar's son, like, making him come to his side. And
then, did you think Caesar was dead? Did you think he was gone for good? I knew he was coming back.
I got that was the spoiler I got.
So you thought he was just done?
From Kids in Mind.
I thought that was
I don't know.
A wee bit tacky that he comes back and sort of saves the day, and then they have that big battle on the tower.
Well, Koba only had one hand on a gun. He shot him in the shoulder, not really in the chest.
I guess, but I assumed he was going to be gone. But in terms of, like, Koba versus Caesar, these are the two monkeys they focused on. They're the two that they spent the most effort and time and money on. Which one kind of impressed you more? Did you like more? Obviously, Caesar's the good guy, Koba's the bad guy, by the end. But which of those 8 performances do you think was stronger?
stronger
or just better.
More noticeable was definitely Koba. He
so?
had the bigger presence in the movie.
I think
he escalated so quickly. Like he was just saying like, "I'll do anything for you, Caesar, since you broke me out of this prison," and it escalated so quickly from him just defying and going and stealing some guns from the armory to him shooting Caesar,
for a guy that
burning the community, to throwing apes off balconies.
For a character that couldn't really speak and only had a few actual words, he kind of felt like he was really living a human character villain arc, which was crazy that they were able to convey all that. And I thought his face showed a lot more emotion than Caesar. Caesar tried to keep a very straight face. He showed a few, but yeah, I think you're definitely right. Koba, so
quickly escalated.
They both felt very human, and they do this zoom in at the end where you're like, oh my god, Caesar's a freaking man with fur. But Koba, his level of, I mean, he also kind of had a role that allowed him to sort of leap off the screen per se. Like he had a more expressive, emotional role to play. Whereas, even though Caesar came back, I kind of thought his moment when he returned to power would be a bigger moment. I thought they'd build it up more, and I felt that kind of fizzled out a little bit. I know the monkeys were bowing and they were like, "Oh, Caesar," but I wanted there to be some monkey party kind of thing going on, like a celebration. They give him a gold star or something.
It didn't fizzle out. What are you talking about?
Well, where does this lead, though? The movie definitely sets up for a third, and now we're in this strange situation.
They did talk about how, at the end, how they made contact, the little city made contact with one up north.
So there's more people coming to help.
An army is coming down to come fight the monkeys, and they're already on their way, but Caesar says, even though he doesn't want to fight, Malcolm's like, go now, and he's like, no, war has already begun.
So Caesar says that the apes have started the war, so they basically have to continue it because the humans won't listen. So
Koba started it.
Right, he wants the good humans to get out, and I think ultimately, is that our verdict that Koba is responsible for all of this? I was trying to think
he shot Caesar.
Yeah, and that kind of instigated the whole thing.
And then said, this is a human gun.
Yeah, and tried to blame it on them. One other part that really pissed me off was that Carver guy. I did not like him at all, and I thought it was hilarious because the villain in Walking Dead is named Carver, and he's like a complete jerk psychopath. And this guy, they must be related in some way because he
actually
stop.
He started the instigating. He shot Ash at the very beginning. He started it.
He started right then, and then he brought that shotgun with him, which made Caesar guns. Mad, which then led to Koba being mad at Caesar for the protection of the village or whatever, which then led to Koba turning. So ultimately, maybe Carver's responsible.
Yes, but ultimately gets beaten to death by Koba. So
it's a cool, very cool movie.
Seems like Koba is responsible for the most deaths in a movie.
for the third movie, I think they're going to go in a direction. Well, one of two. Either they go in a thing where now the monkeys have to reason with the humans, and it's more of a human monkey drama, or they just go all out battle, and it's
full nuclear warfare.
Monkeys flying airplanes, monkeys in choppers,
That's kind of what I want.
gorillas dropping out of bombers, and it's just humans versus monkeys.
I kind of want that though.
That sounds like a terrible idea. I love those moments when there's misunderstanding or they're trying to figure each other out. I think they do a great job of creating that monkey-human dynamic, and I hope they really continue in the third movie, and I hope they bring back this cast. I think it would feel strange to just keep changing cast, especially because it sounds like the conflict is immediate. This movie takes place a lot farther down the line than the first one, so it makes sense to switch people up, and most people died off. But for the next one, it sounds like it's going to kind of be a direct movement.
Gary Oldman did die.
Maybe.
He did die. He got blown up. He got blown up by C4.
Well, some of the characters will hopefully come on through, and I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to that. That's one now that when I see that trailer, I'm gonna be like, yes, it's coming. It's almost out. Chicken and cheese. All right. Monkeys and bees. Gorillas out of planes. All right.
The question I was going to ask, though, is when they said war has already begun, so is the next movie just going to start out with them fighting this army?
Yeah, I don't know, because I'd be like, we got 10 minutes till the military comes, what are we going to do? So maybe it'll be something like the military comes, the apes have hidden and established a base, and now that...
And they'd work up to a final... I don't think it'll be full-out nuclear warfare
they could,
in the very beginning, but I think there will be a final battle that's huge.
They could do a really cool, hiding through the city and like on the run, chasing each other down,
Self-attack.
and like having like an underground railroad of these humans that are helping the apes. Malcolm leads a group to kind of support them and supply them, and it's this big battle. But ultimately, like, what is the goal? The humans want to eliminate the apes, but I don't think the ape side wants to eliminate the humans. They just want to defuse. So it'll be interesting to see how Caesar chooses to approach things now that he's back in command. Koba has been dropped down the giant well, just like Scar. That was like straight out of Lion King.
I know. I was like, wait.
I was like, okay.
I will help you up.
Except this time, it was the good guy letting the bad guy go instead of the bad guy pushing the good guy off. And he said, Koba, you're not an ape. You're a freaking monster. And, you know, it probably ultimately was the human's fault for torturing him. But, yeah, he was a psychopath.
He says, ape, don't kill ape. And yet he drops an ape off a balcony.
Right, he threw an ape off a balcony. He's just trying to fight for his life. But it was a really fun ride.
I think he did, though. He has a reason to hate the humans. He's probably a little loopy, too.
Yeah, no.
Because they're torturing him.
And now he's, you know,
gone.
He's thrown for
Well, we don't know if he's gone. He could come back.
Koba returns.
Gary Oldman and Koba.
Right, they're
go
going to
at it. Yep.
Koba is going to Ryan and Gary Oldman's back, and they're going to be like this tag team. Oh, that would be so hilarious. But guys and girls, we hope you enjoyed this review. If you saw the movie, we hope you enjoyed it as well. Let us know if you're planning on seeing the movie or if you've already seen it in the comments down below. Try to avoid spoilers for people. I would appreciate that. Have a fantastic day. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked what you saw. Noah, thanks for being here. We appreciate your movie knowledge. E.T.
Oh, you just kind of like, this.
So that's going to do it. Thanks again, guys. It was a fantastic day. Drink so much chocolate. Until next time, we will see you all later.
Maurice.
No, if you're Maurice, you have to have like this 4-panel wide face that like bends at the ends. It looks like he's made out of like, I don't know, like a rotten balloon.
He sounds like Godzilla. No, he's not. He's not fish.
Look at
He's not blooper.
And he was like, that was what he sounded like. He's like, Caesar.
Koba has like fangs. Like no other monkey has like fangs. Like he's a vampire or
That's
something.
kind of his defining characters. His glassy messed up eye, and then his like big eye teeth.
With scars everywhere.
Yeah, but those eye teeth, you're like, whoa.
Eye teeth.
That's what they call this one. The pointy one.
Oh, they call it canine.
Or eye teeth.
Why do they call it eye teeth? It can pierce someone's eye.
I guess, maybe. So would you say this is one of your favorite movies you've seen in a long time? Does it stand apart that much?
Yeah, in at least the top 1 or 2.
Name something better than you've seen recently.
Not recently.
Godzilla?
Godzilla came close.
Is Godzilla better than this?
No.
Dumb Planets is better. Noah had this strange love for Godzilla
in terms of story, an all-around movie, yes it was. Godzilla was there for the monsters.
You just love those moments
With a decent plot for a Godzilla movie.
My favorite movie of the year so far...
This is about Planet of the Apes, so that's what we're focused on.
My favorite movie of the year so far, as silly as it sounds, is Amazing Spider-Man 2. And comparing them...
That doesn't come close to Planet of the Apes. What are you talking about?
Planet of the Apes is a much more, I think, congruent and fluid storyline. I do like some of the moments and the actors in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but in terms of like quality of movie, I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is better. I still might like Spider-Man better because I'm a sucker for Spider-Man.
Sucker!
But this one was, it's one of the best I've seen in quite a while.
Yeah, I really liked it.
But even without the battle, the way the movie's set up is much more like a science fiction movie, whereas the first one could be kind of a little bit more truly, get that dance moves on. Get them dance moves on. Dance party. Dance break. Let's do the dance break. Alright, so.
Alright,